Yo, what's up? So here's my Movcan V30 Pro Max. Finally doing a video on this thing after riding it for about 200 miles now. And so far, it's been pretty dang good. No complaints besides some little things like this wiring harness going to the horn and the headlight. That was messed up, but I got in contact with Movcan and they sent that out to me. Another thing is I put some bigger washers on these passenger pegs. They're compression washers because the ones that it came with were way too small, so this actually started backing out. Like if you were to put some force on that, this would pull out, and then this bracket for the actual peg itself would just rest on the Allen screw, which is no bueno. Another big thing, these nylon nuts do not come stock with this. I had to replace these because this side actually came loose with the stock washers, or the stock nut and washer setup, which I left it on the rear because it's fine back here. Like there's nothing gets messed up. The problem in the front is that these little prongs right here, I don't know if you can see those, but there's prongs down here, which the stock washer, it gets snagged on those and it creates an air gap, and it makes it so that the nut doesn't engage with this mating surface back here properly, and because of that it rattled loose on dirt roads and stuff like that, or just riding it around, it'll just rattle that thing loose. So what I ended up doing is I got another washer, I cut the bottom off of it so that this would sit flush, and then nylon nuts and torque those up nice and tight so that this thing does not come loose again. And so far I haven't had any problems since. Another thing is the rear shock on this. So I replaced this with a, what is this? What brand is this? Merkova or Maroka rear shock. This thing is adjustable, which it really helps out, especially once we get into the riding portion of this. It really helps out with dirt riding, and it does help out with the street too, because the stock spring, or the stock shock setup, is just a spring. I don't think it has any hydraulic fluid, no air, no nothing charged in there, so it's just a spring that's uncontrolled, and when you hit a bump, it'll compress and then come up, and then it'll just kind of teeter-totter. This, it comes down, goes back up, maybe teeters a tiny bit, and then it settles, which this thing is leaps and bounds way better and more comfortable than the stock shock. Another thing I've done is tighten up the spokes, because the spokes don't come all that tight from the factory. I realigned these calipers, so you loosen those up. You just hold the brake just gently, and then you tighten those up so that these are aligned properly. Otherwise your brake pads will grind against your brake disc there, and it's no bueno. So make sure that you have those aligned. I can't think of any other problems I've had other than just the seat. It's very comfortable, don't get me wrong, but it does compress pretty good in the middle portion here. Seems like there's more padding towards the very front and the very back, but either way, it's a very comfortable seat, very plush, no problems with it. I'm 160 pounds, 6'1", give or take, and yeah, this thing fits me just fine so far. Last thing, this swing arm, the swing arm nut that's in here, if you get one of these, loosen that up a little bit, because this bolt comes way too tight from the factory, so you have to loosen it up a little bit. Otherwise this swing arm will actually creak as your suspension is compressing and coming out, because when that's tightened up too much, it gets hung up on the mounting areas here, those little areas where the swing arm itself mounts onto. It'll just start rubbing against that and creaking, and it doesn't allow the swing arm to move smoothly like it's supposed to. Even consider putting some grease on there, on the insides of where the swing arm contacts this middle joint right here. I just did that and it's no problem so far. That and these screws here, these Allen screws, make sure those are nice and tight, because these things have rattled loose on me before, and I put compression washers on those as well, and a little bit of blue Loctite. All right, now specs. So on the Movcan V30 Pro Max, this thing comes with dual 1500 watt hub motors, and they peak at 2000 watts each, or so they say. And I believe it. This thing definitely moves when you get up and going, especially when you engage that dual motor mode, which it is toggleable up here. So on the display there, if you press this in, you get a P right there. Or sorry, it's a D. Then if you press it again, then it disappears, lets you know that you're in single hub mode. And the beauty of this thing is it comes with 2 batteries. So these are claimed to be 48 volt, 20 amp hour batteries. So these things have a lot of juice packed into them. But if you are in dual motor mode, just be aware you will get around 25 to 30 miles of range if you're just doing throttle only. So if you're going crazy with this thing, it does like to suck up the juice, but if you're in single motor mode, and especially if you're helping pedal the thing along, you'll get 40, 50 miles out of it. It really just depends on how you ride it. Think of this thing as a sort of performance vehicle in dual mode. You're just going to burn a lot of energy if you want it to go fast. So anyways, let's get into this. So I've been riding this thing around for a bit. I believe it said 7.5 miles on it. It was 7.5 or 8.5, and I'm at 77% battery. So the way that I've been riding it, getting right around 30 miles of range before the thing is completely dead. So you do have your indicators up here as well for the batteries. There and down here. You can toggle them, so say if you wanted to, for some reason, run 1 battery only, then you can do that. You can turn 1 battery off and then leave 1 battery running, and it will run, and vice versa. If I turn this one back on, turn that one off, boom, it will run on either or. You don't have to have both of them engaged, but be aware, if you have both of these engaged, it will decrease the voltage sag when you're actually getting on this thing. So especially in dual motor mode, it's really helpful to have both of the batteries turned on so that you get maximum performance out of this thing. Let's get going. Let's do some dirt riding first. And currently, you can change this within the settings, which I guess I could show you really quick. If you hold the plus and the minus, and you go through all the different settings. If we go over to P06, 00 is for pedal assist only, the throttle will not work. 01 is for throttle assist only and no pedal assist, which can be helpful if you're mid corner and you like to start to pedal, and it just prevents you from actually engaging the motor mid corner if you're only used to just working a throttle. So it makes it a little more controllable, at least for myself. So I leave it in 01. 02 is for both of them. So you get pedal assist. It'll automatically start going when you start pedaling, since this thing does have a cadence sensor on it, so it will notice when you start pedaling, and then it'll engage the motors. So it will engage the motors that way. And 02, it allows the throttle and the cadence sensor to work, so you can pedal and you can also use the throttle too if you want. But for myself, I'm just put it in 01. So this thing pretty much behaves like a normal bicycle as I start pedaling like this. The sensor will not allow the motors to turn on if I'm just pedaling like this. So I can just use the throttle in order to help it, which I would think would also aid in getting more range out of it. At cruising speed, if you're around 15, then you can just continue to pedal rather than the motor engaging and burning more batteries. So it's kind of nice. So if you really want the beans, then you can just twist the throttle in that mode. But anyway, let's get into this. Let's go for a ride. So for anybody that's curious, all right, I'm going up a hill currently, and I guess what we could do now is we could go downhill for this portion. So we could do the 0 to, let's say 25. And for these modes themselves, this is how it comes stock. So you have pedal assist right here. Pedal assist 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each of those modes is a governor on the speed in which the motor continues to let you go. So I can show you guys that. So we get going here. So it'll top out right around 10. And now if I go to 2, 15, 3, it's right around 20, 21, 4, go up to 20, actually a little bit higher than that, 27, and then 5, it'll allow max speed on this thing, which is 37. So I'm just in single motor mode here. It's alright. I guess I could just show you guys the 0 to 25 really quick. So, alright, ready? Move behind this. Ready, set, go. Just unassisted. And there. Alright. And after 10 seconds, this thing will go into cruise control mode. So it'll just continue to cruise until you click the brakes, and then it will disengage that feature. You can also adjust that within the settings as well to turn off if you so choose, if you don't want it. Which is pretty cool. Alright. So now we got that baseline for single motor mode. And that voltage sag thing I was talking about, so especially when I switch into dual motor mode, you will see this bar go down temporarily. So that's normal. It just means that it's sucking up so much energy from both batteries that it's actually lowering the voltage on it temporarily until you let off again. Alright. And now, dual motor mode. So this will make the front wheel chirp because this thing just, it doesn't have enough weight over the front and it just has way too much torque. So yeah, let's get into this. Alright, reset. Alright, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh yeah, here we go. And there. See, so it's quite a bit of a difference in dual motor mode. This thing is quite a bit more peppy. It legit feels like a small displacement motorcycle to an extent, if not maybe a little bit peppier, maybe around like a 125. So anyway, let's get into the dirt stuff now. So like I said before, this rear shock really does make a big difference. So if I were to do that with the stock rear shock, yeah, that would have like crushed my spine. So I'm also considering putting air shocks in the front as well, but for the time being, these front shocks are doing a-okay. I would say that the rear shock is really the main thing that you want to replace first. But if you're just doing standard street riding, nah, it works. It's just especially if you want to be kind of a, you want to treat this thing like a dirt bike like myself, then yeah, it definitely helps to have a nice shock in the rear. A nice suspension. Which I will leave a link to this shock in the description down below, so. Kind of fumbling over my words right now because it's, man, this is just kind of wild on a little bike like this. Man, oh yeah. So this is all in dual motor mode. I can do a lot of this in single motor mode though. Alright, so single motor. Kind of similar to what you get with the V30 Max or just the standard V30, because those obviously don't have the front hub motor on there. I'm just sitting down. Obviously it's better to stand up for this. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going until this thing pretty much stalls, and this hill is actually, I would say it's a little bit below 45 degrees. I don't know, maybe it's like 35, somewhere around there. This thing just went in cruise mode on me. Alright, still in single motor mode. Oy. This thing does have a pretty cool horn on it as well. Oh man. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a police horn. It's kind of funny. And I'm currently at 15 or 18 psi currently in the tires. You don't, from what I've heard, you don't really want to exceed 18 or 20 psi in the tires. Nice stock. These stock Kenda, I think they're, what are these tires again? Kenda Crusade tires, which do look pretty dang slick on this bike, I have to admit. Which works fine for terrain like this too. Just standard like all-terrain tires. All right. And now the hills. So this is what I got as a nice test. Show you guys that, you know, you can make it up a dumb hill like this. So let's do it. But I'm only going to do it in dual motor mode, because single motor mode, I tried it and I got stuck 3/4 of the way up and I could not make it the rest of the way up. I just had to slide it down and it was not fun. It was definitely an adventure. I'll tell you guys what, I will try it in single motor mode, but if I do not hit the amount of speed that I want, I might actually have to pedal. I might have to pedal for this. Oh, okay, I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it for you. I really don't want to do this, but here we go. Ah, yes, it will make it up in single motor mode. Very nice. Woo! That's with the pedals too. Very nice. But if you didn't want to pedal and you just want to go ham, oh man. We could flick it into that dual motor mode. We could just go for it. And you will also notice on the soft stuff, the front tire just loves to get loose. So I'll show you guys that. Let's do it. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's do it. All right. To ease into the throttle here. Now get on it. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, that is a lot of fun. You can just chirp the front. What a fun bike. Now let's go over here. I'm gonna flick it back into single motor mode because it's a much more easier to manage on these dirt roads. I would say single or dual motor is really good for obviously pavement where you have a lot of traction. But on these dirt roads and things, if you give it too much throttle, you will very easily slide the front out and you have a lot more weight over the rear, so you get a lot more traction out of the rear. So I could try to bring it up here in dual motor mode. Ooh-wee! Yeah! And put it back into single. Yeah, I know, my goodness, that rear shock made a massive difference. The stock rear shock is just, it's just night and day. I'll say that. They definitely did not put a good rear shock on this thing, but it does work. Oi. No, it is not very well. So yeah, this thing will do dirt surprisingly well. Dual motor mode, just to get that extra acceleration there. Oh yeah. Like you could probably do that in single motor mode, but you definitely need to get more momentum. This thing is just the acceleration in dual motor mode, and single motor is just, it's night and day. You get away with a lot more with the dual motors. You also need to know how to control it because the front just wants to come loose quite a bit. Obviously this thing has zero traction control, so you're just along for the ride at that point. Try to hit that jump right there. Woo! So far I haven't noticed any durability concerns with this thing. It's been pretty dang good. Oh, I have never seen this before. Somebody legit put a track out here. Let's explore a little more. And yeah, this thing is just, it's just fun. It's just unadulterated fun. Like, it's like straight up, like, I feel like I'm a kid again riding this thing, which I don't get that same feeling with motorcycles, but like motorcycles are definitely more of like a mature type of feeling to them. But at the same time, it's like, it's just different. Like, don't get me wrong, they're a ton of fun. But it's just for something like this, it's just more playful overall. It's just, yeah, it's just easier to ride, you know, it's more casual, I guess is what I want to say. Man, some soft stuff over there. Man. Alright, single motor. I don't know if you could tell, but definitely got a pedal for me going up these big grades, but I mean, you can do it. I'm doing it right now. Alright, and now I just about stalled. So there's that. Go up stuff like that, then and any steeper than this, I don't know what even is that. Say this is flat ground compared to this. I mean, this probably is at least a 45-degree grade here. Well, anyways, my SD card filled up on my GoPro, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a quick look at this bike in action. I'll keep you guys updated on anything that goes wrong with it. And yeah, look out for more videos on this bad boy. Because man, this thing a blast to ride. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, and God bless you. See ya.